Welcome back to Cobra Vids, guys. In today's video, we're going to be working on the front of our Z400. In a previous video, I have shown you that the front piece is loose on here and it wobbles. It's really bad on the other side, but you see that? Up there, I do not believe that should be like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a video on how to remove the lens to change the lights on the front piece here. Hang out with us for a while. Be right back. Okay, first off, we're going to have to remove, this front cover here. A small magnetic tray for all of our bolts in there, or screws. There we go. Oh, that's not that bad under there. Alright guys, I want to show you what the problem is. See, we paid these guys like $1,000 to assemble these bikes, and then we have to deal with things like this. That is just complete lack of proper assembly. Now, I don't know if this is something that the dealer does, but if this comes from the factory assembled like this, that's some shitty work, man, and I am very disappointed in that. Now, I could go ahead and I could stick a flexible ratchet in there and tighten that up, but I told you guys I was going to show you how to pull these lights off to change those light bulbs. So that's what we're going to go ahead and do. And that way it'll be a little easier for me to get to that. We need to get to that screw right there in order to get that cover off, and we're going to have to get this one off too. That one's the easy one, and then that one there, and if we do that on both sides, this cover should come off. We're going to have to take this off, and look at that, guys. Look at that. That's a missing screw right there. I have wondered why this lens moves around a lot. Look at that crap, guys. That there, if this is, that looks like it was in there at one time because of the mark of the head of the bolt. Look at that. I'm going to find out if that bolt, or if this thing is assembled at the dealership. Because if it is, that's absolute bullshit. And I am pissed off that bolts are coming loose. I know it's 20,000 miles, but come on, guys. If you would have properly done this, because this is something that you normally do not remove. Okay, so if they put Loctite on these threads, that would have never happened. So I gotta find a bolt like this and install it in here. I have some bolts, they might not be the same type, but I've got to get a bolt in there before I put this back together. I always wondered why this moved around so much, and that's why. Well, at least I don't have to remove that one. A little less work. Oh wow, and this side is finger loose. Is that about a bunch of bullshit or what, guys? And I was just talking up the quality of Kawasaki in my last video. Okay. Along with those two screws I showed you on each side, there's these bottom ones that also have to come off right here. I've decided, it may not be necessary, but I've decided to pull this bracket off, this mounting bracket that holds on that front shield. And I'm going to go ahead and remove it just to make it easier for me to get this cover off here. There we go. There we go. There's the plugs for the turn signals, and they come through this metal bracket here, so make sure you get this back through here. And these come off pretty easily. All you got to do is first find out where the release is. It looks like you need a little pick to bend the release down, and these will pop off. And then we can get this whole thing out of the way. Actually, it's an upward bend. So stick your pick in here and bend that tab upward, and then it'll pop right off. We'll repeat that on the other side. I think I actually found this to be true with the fuel tank plugs. And then this whole thing just comes right off. So now this pretty much exposes this entire lens here, and this looks like there's just a bunch of tabs that pop off. That's kind of wild that's how this comes off. All right, so let's go ahead and remove this off of here, and then we'll see what the heck's going on here. Make sure you hold on to these sleeves here. You'll need that to reinstall this. And that's why these little magnetic trays are so awesome to have, because it gives you some place to put them where they won't just fall off. All right, so once you remove the little bolt and bracket here, the only thing left is to undo these tabs here. Okay, these tabs seem very fragile, so I'm not going to go to the extent of pulling the cover off, as it splits right here. And then once this cover is off, that is how you get to the light bulbs, which are inside. Looks like there's 2 on top and 2 on bottom. And that is as far as I'm going to pull this down for you guys today. But I'm going to start reassembling this and then fix my problem. Okay, so every reassembly bolt I do, I'm going to put a dab of Loctite on it. And that way there, I'll never have to worry about these things coming loose. I'll just have to worry about loosening them up when my light bulb goes out, which I hope isn't anytime soon. And this bracket here actually pinches the 2 halves. We'll rotate that back, get that in there, and now we're about to get to the bolts that actually came loose on this whole unit here. And it would actually be a great idea at this point here to just check everything else, every other bolt in this area, so that you can address that when you're in it, instead of finding out later that you should have. Again, with this bolt, I'm going to coat the threads with some Loctite. I'm going to use blue Loctite. The blue Loctite is the easiest to remove if you need to in the future. Oh, wow. Hey guys, I just discovered that this is not an issue with the bolt not being tightened up. So I might have to retract my words, but what this is an issue with this here being a little bit too long, and it's not allowing the correct pressure to be applied to hold that solid. So the only option is to grind this down. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's make that modification. And I am hoping that will do it. Okay, there's some fresh Loctite on here. Okay, put some fresh Loctite. And now we can rethread this in here. I think we're going to tighten up. Now that would be a Kawasaki flaw right there. The sleeve there is a little bit too long for the bushing, or maybe over the years or over the miles, the bushing has severely reduced the play. See what happens when we get the other one done. Be right back. All right, so now we've got about 1/8 of an inch off of each of these sleeves here, and this should take care of the slack. That actually is so much better, much more solid of a fit, guys. And that was definitely a flaw for Kawasaki. The bottom vibrates because they're just little pegs are just in little bushings down here. Doesn't look like there's anything I can do to tighten that up down there. But for the most part, that is 10 times better. I'm going to go ahead and accept that. Okay, so let's start trying bolts in here. I think I need something a little smaller. Well, alright guys, I don't have a bolt with the thread pattern that small, that thin. It's a real thin thread pattern, and it's going into metal. So if it was going into a plastic thread hole, I could use something else, if you know what I mean. I'm getting a little force, a hammer and everything. But so that forces me to go to the hardware store and try to locate something that will work in there. I can't leave that bolt out because that flaps around that turn signal thing, and it's annoying. Believe me, if you ever had a flappy thingy, you'll know it's annoying. So that means I gotta ride my Vulcan over to the hardware store to get a bolt for that. So, be right back. Alrighty guys, we are back from the hardware store. I took a little detour elsewhere, but I'm back. And I found a bolt. It actually is about the same length, pretty much identical. And if you need to find out if a bolt is the correct size, what you do is you just interlock the threads like this. And if the threads fit in there, then you know you got the right thread size. That's a little tip from Cobra Vids. I need a little washer for this, and I know I have some. Okay, well, let me take that back. I knew I had some, but I'm gonna go ahead and use this one. It's kind of larger than I wanted to, but if I just put the bolt in there, it might pop through the hole there. So I gotta add some type of washer to it. And the outer cover that goes on here will actually hide this, so I don't have to worry about that showing. So the thread pattern is perfect. The bolt size is exactly what I've been using on the rest of the covers. So now my turn signal won't wobble up and down like it used to. So that's a bonus. Bonus! It's a bonus! Okay, so we'll just tighten up these, tighten up the other side, and we'll be right back. Okay, so we got those 4 bolts tightened, 2 on each side on the inside there, like I showed you taken off. And now we've got the sweet sockets, and we got to go up underneath here. Hope you can see. Yeah, okay. I just wanted to make sure you knew where I was talking about. And these have some type of factory Loctite on them, so we'll go ahead and put a little dab. A little dab will do you on here. So that way there we got some more. The dash now does not wobble at all, as you can see. It's very solid on there now, the way that it's supposed to be. And that was just because I had to shave those sleeves down. And I would imagine that's a flaw with Kawasaki. Doesn't make me too happy that I had to modify my bike. Alrighty guys, well, that is back on there. Back on there. And once again, everything's nice and snug, nothing is loose. So that's the way it should be from the factory. And something else that's kind of exciting is I have absolutely no spare parts. When you have spare parts, you know, our minimum is 2. If you, I'm just kidding. But if you don't have any spare bolts or parts, then you know that you did the job right, and they're all back on there. Alrighty guys, that's going to wrap it up for the headlight job or video. And if there's anything else that you'd like to see done on this bike, please leave the question or the suggestion down below in the comments. And I will get to that when I have the time. I'm always interested in hearing from you guys. Until next time guys, ride safe, stay free. We'll see ya on the next one.